Hey guys, we are hanging out at Alabaster Caverns State Park. What a great campground. It is a good one for the family and we're having lots of fun here despite the fact that it's a whopping 102 degrees outside. It is a hot one, but let's check out this campground. Alright guys, this is another really quiet campground. Tonight we were the only ones in the campground. Last night there was one other. Now do yourself a favor, book your site in advance. One of the difficulties we had when we got here is we were kind of doing the winging it thing. We were going to show up and pay just in case, we get here and we didn't like the spots or something like that. But unfortunately, this is a place that actually you can only book online. You can walk into the little caverns place, but the businesses are kind of separated. So they will help you if you get really stuck, but they absolutely ask you to book online. So go ahead in advance, book yourself online to get that payment done and get your site booked. Otherwise, you'll be like us and scrambling last minute and trying to do it on your phone. Not fun. There are only about 10 RV spots and they're not all super big. So if you have a really large unit, you might have to pick and choose which ones. I'm going to show you, as usual, my top favorite sites. They're all very close together. There isn't a lot of privacy at this site. There's a very little amount of shade. It is a hot one, unfortunately, but this is a country that is a bit deserty. So you're going to expect that in probably most of the places that you camp in this area. I'd say this is probably pretty darn shaded. We were going to go to Little Sahara and I did want to go there, but it honestly looked so deserty that I thought it might actually be too hot, especially in 102 degrees. So we ended up here and I'm glad. The trees do make a little bit of difference. So this is site 8. It's a nice long site, good for the trailer. It had a little bit of shade in the back, so this was one of our top picks. Couldn't get this site, but this is site 10 and this is probably one of the ultimate sites, other than the fact that it has a lot of trees that you've got to get it in there pretty straight, but you do have a ton of runway to be able to make that happen. So site 10 is probably the prettiest plus the most secluded of all the sites in this entire campground. Really nice site, and it's probably also the biggest. It's quite big. So if you have this opportunity to get site 10, that's the one I'd go with, as long as you're comfortable getting your trailer in between these trees. So here we are in site 6. This is obviously where we are. The shade was good. The ability to pull in was good. You've got all this extra room up here, so maneuvering in was just fine. Shade. We wanted a bit of shade for Mo. Mo's living in here. He's got a shade cloth up, but it's still pretty warm. A nice bit of shade in here. The picnic table is actually in site 7, so we didn't use the picnic table, but it's so hot. We aren't outside much, to be honest with you. It does have a fire pit. You can see how close you would be if somebody was camped in here, but like I said, this park is really empty, so like it's not going to bother us, that's for sure. If it were full, I guess it'd be a different story. Next to site 10, these are all your tent spots. I don't think you'll see many tents, especially at this time of year with it so hot, but there is actually a large number of spaces that allow for people to camp in tents all around. So from your campsite, you are right next to the main office here where people come in to book their tours. So you will have some traffic, people visiting, people running through the campsites to get to the park and that kind of stuff, because there are visitors here all day throughout the day. It is a pet-friendly campground. The only thing they ask is that all dogs are leashed and that their leashes may not extend over 10 feet. It does have volleyball nets, so if you're into the sport, bring your volleyball. You can have some fun with the family. It has a really nice kids play area. Definitely a good park for families. Kids boards here, family boards. You can put mom or dad's face in here too, I guess. Put your face in and get your pictures taken and become a baddie. I think what I like about this campground so much is that there's just so many places that you can explore right from your campsite with just a short distance, a short walk, and feel like you are somewhere totally new. Now, if you're from Oklahoma, this countryside might not feel new to you, but from Mississippi, this countryside feels new to me. It actually feels a little bit like Alberta to me, Alberta, Canada. It has a bit of feel of Drumheller mixed in with High River, which is kind of neat for me, but it is still very different, and it's been a while since I've been back home, so this is nice to see. It's a common theme here is the stairs are incredibly uneven, so do make sure that you have good shoe wear, and that if you have a walking stick or something, bring that with you. But you'll be able to come down and explore into all these really neat little places. If you have your camera ready and your family ready, get some pictures. This is going to be a good spot for family photos. Another hidden trail here. This is in behind the place where you get your tickets for the cavern tours. And it's just a whole other trail system here. Again, the stairwells are very, very uneven. So be careful with your footing. And make sure you take some water with you especially when it's this hot. But all the way down there, there's a cave. You can't actually go in that cave. I believe that's a cave, the back end of the cave that's been shut down. But you can take the trail and go see the cliffs and get a little walk. There are lots of covered spaces to stop and enjoy a picnic. Nice little spots to take a break. A great site for bird watching as well as bugs. I can't say this enough. There's so many interesting nature items to see. Good wisdom for anywhere you go. Always nice to leave nature where it is so it can be enjoyed by the next person. This has to be the coolest thing about this park. The bugs that it has are really wild. I found so many interesting things. This thing is alive. I don't know what it is. I think it has a caterpillar on the inside. Right behind me is the road to the cave. To get that, we have to actually go on a tour. In large tours, you'll get taken down to the caves in this guy. Or we got to ride in the van. I know how many I should have.
Right? Now, people tell me, we've lived in Oklahoma for 70 years and we've never been here. You can slow that.
So for $25 a night, you can get your electrical hookup. We had a 30 amp site. There's a couple of 50 amp sites. Not all of them are 50 amp. And you can also certainly tent. It's cheaper for tenting. I believe tenting is about $16 a night. Does not include your access to the caverns. That is paid separately. And make sure you reserve in advance before you get here. Don't be like us. So I'm really glad we camped here. I got to get the caves off my bucket list. I've always wanted to venture through a cave. So to me, it feels like I got a little bit of my Lord of the Rings spirit in and adventured somewhere new. And with these little areas to explore, it was really a fun place to stay. Awesome to visit. Highly recommend. Happy camping.